Jawar Mohammed's rare take on criticism and attacks from Abiy Ahmed's government. Jawar says, "First, many of you have reached out to me, as well as to my family and friends, to inquire about my safety and well-being. I am deeply grateful for your concern, and I am pleased to reassure you that I am safe and free. Among those engaged in Ethiopian politics, there are few, if any, who have been subjected to sustained vilification, coordinated defamation, and malicious smear campaigns to the extent that I have. Yet I have deliberately refused to be drawn into reactive exchanges. Instead, I have exercised restraint and strategic silence as a matter of principle and strategy, reasons for which I have set out in detail in my book." In recent weeks, the Abiy administration has escalated a coordinated and self-reinforcing propaganda and defamation campaign against me. While these fabrications could readily be rebutted, I initially chose to remain silent. This campaign, however, has now crossed a clear legal and political threshold. It extends beyond personal defamation and deliberately implicates institutions of other sovereign states, with the evident objective of undermining my lawful relationships and engagements with those states and their institutions. At its core, this campaign is an attempt to monopolize information and deny Ethiopians, wherever they may be, the right to choice, knowledge, and independent judgment. At a moment of acute international volatility and escalating regional conflict, the current leadership has recklessly positioned Ethiopia as a diplomatic vassal to one side of a dangerous geopolitical confrontation. This course gravely endangers the country's sovereignty, security, and long-term national interests. Independent and dissenting voices are feared precisely because they expose this recklessness. The effort to silence me is not incidental. It is deliberate, born of fear, and aimed at suppressing scrutiny. Our country's sacred independence is being sacrificed on the altar of a narrow leadership agenda and its useful enablers who would lead our people blindly toward national catastrophe. I therefore have instructed my legal counsel, in coordination with the competent authorities of the affected foreign states and institutions, to initiate all necessary investigations and to pursue all available legal, diplomatic, and institutional remedies. Those responsible, whether acting individually or in concert, will be held fully accountable under applicable national and international legal frameworks. Finally, Jawar assures his followers, saying, "Information arising from this process and any outcomes that we determine may properly be disclosed will be made public in due course." For those of you not familiar with him, between 2016 and 2018, Jawar Mohammed, a well-known Oromo activist, played a significant role in the Oromo protests. These protests were instrumental in bringing down the TPLF-led EPRDF and allowed former TPLF allies from the OPDO to take over in 2018. After this shift, key Oromo political figures, including Jawar and the OLF leadership, returned to Oromia, or Ethiopia, with hopes that a transition to civilian governance and democratic engagement was on the horizon. However, everything changed after the heartbreaking murder of Hachalu Hundessa, a beloved Oromo musician and a symbol of resistance. Following this tragedy, Jawar and many other prominent opposition leaders, along with thousands of protesters, were imprisoned by the Abiy Ahmed government to prevent their participation in the 2020 national elections. Although he was released in 2022 after spending time in jail, he has been compelled to live in exile since then. Currently, Ethiopia, under the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize laureate PM Abiy Ahmed and his ruling Prosperity Party, is experiencing deadly civil wars in over 3 major regional states. In Oromia since 2019, in Tigray from 2020 to 2022, then no peace, no war, stalemate, and in Amhara since 2023. These 3 states alone account for over 70% of Ethiopia's population and land territory. The worst thing is, the Middle Eastern petrodollar regional players are also fueling the conflicts and connecting the conflicts, furthermore, to neighboring countries like Sudan, Eritrea, and Somalia.